Perfect.
If I'm not in,
Perfect.
I've got to trust you to watch the time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Brock's on the time.
How's everybody doing today? This is KLZ 560 AM. You can always reach us at 303.
Yeah, don't give the phone number today.
Oh, that-
They can't call in during the hour.
That's right.
Do you want to restart?
Yeah. How's everybody doing today? This is KLZ 560 AM. We're the guy's perspective, and today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. Most people don't even know what that is. So before we dive into it, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. We'll start right over here to my right.
I'm your favorite janitor, favorite mama's boy.
Reno, a local business owner.
And I am impersonating Heath Hine, the actor in Colorado. I'm an imposter.
That's funny. And so imposter syndrome, the only reason why I even thought of this was one of my finals for college this semester asked the question, so I had to write about it, like, what exactly is imposter syndrome? And I had no idea what it was.
You got
So
that?
you were taking a test for being an engineer, and they asked you this question?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it myself.
Right. So and most people haven't. And what imposter syndrome is, it's basically somebody who's an overachiever and they're always feeling like they're failing. For example, you can be the top salesperson of your company. You can be grossing a few $1 million a year, but at the end of the day, you feel like you're just not doing enough, even though you're at the top of the food chain.
But I think there could be more to it.
Oh, there
Than
is.
Just that, I mean, you know, like persistent self-doubt in your own abilities also. Like, you could be, what you're saying is, you know, you can achieve a lot, but there could be the other side of self-doubt that maybe you can achieve what you want. Like you could have a dream, but you have such self-doubt that you can't achieve what dream you may have.
That's really
You
good.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that have lofty goals, but they just don't ever feel like they can achieve them because they doubt their self. You know, it's crazy we're talking about this. So I was in the room the other day. That's funny you mentioned this. I was at work the other day and I was in the middle of all these engineers, right? They're all these different geologists. They're taking all these tests. And I mean, they're dropping like flies. They're failing left and right. But one guy brought me his test and I'm grading his test. You could see where he erased all his answers. He had all the right answers and erased them all and put all the wrong answers. And I looked at him, I was like, dude, you had all the right answers and you changed them. And he was like, what? Like he got so much into his head that even though he was at the top, he was now at the bottom because he just didn't trust in his first instinct.
Doubted himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got a joke. What did geologists and Yukon Cornelius have in common with imposters? Fool's gold.
But I mean,
come on.
have you guys ever done that? Have you ever like got inside of yourself, like you knew the right answer, you knew you were doing the right thing, but
yeah.
you changed it because you just started doubting
Oh,
yourself?
that happens all the time.
Give an example.
What? Where people, because most people aren't going with their intuition.
Mm.
You think, you know, you might have, because you studied, you took the test, right? Probably studied for weeks on end, so you know what's inside. But then you know, whatever else may be going on causes you to forget or whatever the reason may be.
Right, because when you get nervous, don't you feel like you do like different things? Like you're gung-ho, you're thinking about it all week. You're like, yeah, man, I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, there's a time, it's almost like a stage fright. Because being nervous is a real thing.
Yeah, put on the spot. You're
Yeah,
put on the spot.
it's a
All that
real
you
thing.
studied, now you're on the spot. Now it has to come out.
Do you guys know how I use that in film? And I discovered this a long time ago. It was that I had to channel the energy. So the energy that was fear and worry and concern about how I'm perceived, I would channel it into humor. Seriously, man, that's like that's what I would do in school to make friends and stuff like that. Channel it into humor.
Wow.
So the humor was the mask, and I think that if one could channel their feelings and their worries and their concerns into something constructive rather than deconstructing themselves, then they can avoid the imposter syndrome and just learn to grow into, just like, hey, we're all human. We all have flaws. We all have abilities and inabilities. And just because we're unable or incapable now doesn't mean we can't be capable later.
Well, do you think a person can get so nervous going either on stage, let's say for a movie or a job, to where all of a sudden they fail the whole thing because they're just so nervous, even though they know all the right steps, they just bomb it.
You're talking Hollywood, man. What do people do to cope? Drugs, sex, all that stuff that they do leading up to them getting on stage. Big guys, big guys like Chris Farley, man.
Do you think they
That's
do
what
that?
it is. It's all cocaine, just to get them energized enough to be out of that state of mind of self-deprecation, so that they could move forward with the task.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
I should have filmed myself on that.
Wow! No! That's deep. Now think about it in a business aspect, because you guys are business owners. Have you ever went to bid a job, and then all of a sudden you have your numbers in front of what you're worth, and then you're like, well, maybe I ought to change that for the sake of getting a job?
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened both ways, to where we're going in bidding a job. It's a different part of the industry, so we're like, well, we need to make it higher, and we're second guessing, like, this seems pretty high, so let's just go with it. We go with it, and then they come back to us and say, we're questioning your ability to perform because your numbers are so much lower.
Whoa!
Wow.
And we doubled the bid. And we were still, we could have doubled it again and still been too low.
Wow!
Just
Wow! That is amazing.
Just because of the industry.
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! That right there just goes. Go
Well,
ahead.
I was just wondering too, though. Imposter syndrome is usually for the person who is self-deprecating about their own worth and value.
Right.
But then there's the opposite effect, which is the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is when you have idiots or fools who press forward on something that they don't have really the skill set, the time set, the money, or anything to fulfill the job asked of them. Does that make sense?
So basically, comparison. You're comparing yourself to someone else?
Well, Dunning-Kruger is an individual who is not equipped to do the job, but they're so confident in their ability they get the job.
That's
makes sense?
He's making a good point right there.
So that's the opposite, because they're not beating themselves up about how bad they are inside.
Fake it till you
Yeah.
make it.
Hey, I have to go behind those type of people all the time to fix their work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look up imposter syndrome, I mean, one of the syndromes is, a fear of people, a fear of being exposed. Like they're exposed, that they'll find out that you're not as talented or that you don't have those kind of abilities. And I just don't understand that whole scenario. Like, why are you going to have a fear that, so if you get to a place of success, but then somebody finds out that you're a fake or fraud, I mean, you got to look at, who cares if they look at me like that? And look where I am at now. I got here by skill, whatever it may be. So if you look at me as a fraud, it doesn't matter. I got past you. I'm farther than you, or whatever the case may be. So why would you be scared
that's deep?
So then, how does one reconcile their mindset behind having imposter syndrome? How does one work on that? Because I find that it's the people who are capable that have imposter syndrome, because they're so critical on themselves.
And being critical on yourself can be good to an extent.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I think what happens is when people start comparing themselves to other people, I think is where that part is detrimental to a person.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Wow. That's
there's a lot of people that were born with just better talent than you. It's just the way it is.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's hard personally, as I'm speaking of myself, to accept that. Like, I was watching about an Asian kid. He's like 5 years old, 10 years old, but he's so good at the piano. He's playing, opera. He's taking college courses at his age. He can't even find a school because their ability to teach him isn't as high as his education. We're talking a 10-year-old kid.
Wow.
Like, I mean, you look at things like, man, I wish I had that. Why couldn't I be like that?
And that's where I think comparing yourself to other people can be detrimental. It can be good if you're using that person you're comparing yourself to as what you're striving to do. For example, if you
like a vision board, you hold them up as the example that you want to follow.
Right, but now when you're comparing yourself, saying, "Oh man, I'm never going to do that. This person's got X amount of dollars. I've got this crappy job. I'm never going to make that much." That's when I think you're self-destructing yourself. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you compare yourself to someone else, it's got to be constructive. It can't be destructive. Yeah, because if let's say I want to be the richest man in the world and I want to be like Elon Musk. Well, I got to get to work. At the end of the day, I can sit back on my couch and be like, God, man, how am I going to be a millionaire? And I'm sitting there playing Xbox, right? While the other guy has got 4 or 5 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so it's good to compare yourself if it's in a constructive way. But if you're just comparing yourself just so you can say, oh, hey, I want to be something, and you never apply the steps to it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people go and they chase what they think they want, but when they actually find out where they actually get to that place, they actually hate what they're doing. I mean, I've heard so many people tell me that they spent 6-7 years in college, right, and find out they hate their job. They spent $250,000 for their education, and they're not even doing what they went to college for because they hate it.
Those are the people who are most susceptible to this syndrome.
Which ones?
When you get into when you're unhappy and you change your fields, that's when you're susceptible to it.
Wow.
Because you're in the unknown, like going into unknown waters.
For sure.
So then you're used to being the best. You go into something new, and then you're questioning, you're doubting. Can I do this?
Yeah, because that could really I'm telling you, man, if you're doing something that you're good at and you switch, and now all of a sudden you got to relearn it, it can either make you or break you.
Like I think,
hey, I got a curveball.
Okay.
I got a curveball. So then are we to say that is there imposter syndrome in like cartel or gangster activity? Like people who are like, man, I really don't belong here, but like, I'm doing this dirt, I'm doing this grimy stuff, but I just don't fit.
No, I
know what I mean?
I think you can find that in all walks of life.
Yeah.
And in anything, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, I think what happens is people who are so hard on themselves, even though they've achieved so much, I think that's their downfall, because they're always wanting more, looking for more, and comparing themselves to the next person. Because I heard a professor tell me one time, he said, you can go to Vegas and be a multimillionaire, but if you look around, there's going to be somebody else in that casino with a lot more money than you. And if you walk out that casino and you head down the strip, there's probably going to be somebody on the strip that's got a lot more money than the person you just saw that had more money than you.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're sitting there doubting your self-worth 24/7, I think that could be a bad thing.
So do you think this is more common with people than you think? Like, do you think it's more common with more people than, because when I think of it, as we've been talking, I just think of, imposter syndrome to maybe be for a certain type of people. But now that I'm thinking about it, it could be for more people than we actually think.
Well, let's go around the room. What is one thing that you've done that
fake it to make it?
that you felt like you were successful, but then after you walked out of the room, you're like, God, man, I could have done better. Can you think of anything? I can't. Well, school. I'll take college, man. I could turn around and get an A on a test and walk out and be like, Jesus, I could have had an A plus if I would have applied myself a little bit more.
Yeah. This I'll say this radio show when we first started.
Oh man, that came to
Imposter
my mind
syndrome.
too.
Imposter syndrome, because it was some realm that I'd never been in before. Didn't know about hugging the mic, and talking to the audience and just having a good conversation with the guys here. This was imposter syndrome to begin with, but I'm getting seeded into it. The more we do it, the better I get.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's funny he mentioned that, because there's times I walk out of here like, man, we had a crappy show, and then we get emails like, you guys are the best, and I'm like, it throws me for a loop. It does. It does. So you're making a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Brian in Reno? Imposter syndrome, had you felt it anywhere?
No, I think I failed in the aspects of down the road. I had a feeling of what I thought I wanted to do with my life, but didn't pursue it. I think I failed in that aspect because I know what I want to do with myself now, but yeah, I'm still not pursuing it because I'm content with where I'm at, when I think God wants me to do more, but I'm content in my situation.
Can I ask you a question? And this is for each one of us. Do you ever feel like you're an imposter to God? I didn't think about that till he said that. Because there's times, you know what I'm saying? There's times you go to church and you don't even want to be there.
Well, that would be more of that would be a lot more to do with what's it called?
I don't know.
It's passing my mind right now.
Faith walk, or?
Well, I
No,
mean,
when you have guilt that you're not living up to what God's aspects are for your life. You know what I'm saying?
like condemnation.
Yes,
I think.
that's what the word I was looking for, condemnation. I think that has a lot to do with condemnation because I deal with that all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
With church you do, and
yeah,
not
for
business
sure.
or money, because I deal with it more with like career
So-
than anything.
The problem there though is that what you're allowing to happen is the evil one, the devil, to plant seeds and lies in your head about your worth and value, because your worth and value isn't you or what you do, it's Jesus in you.
That's good. That's really
You know
good.
what I mean? Because it's not about works, it's about faith, obviously. And when we find ourselves getting wrapped up in our position with God, and you know what I mean, like our worthiness, we're already losing the fight.
Yeah, but there's no, and that's good, because there's times I've went to prayer before. I'll go into my time of prayer. I went to the church for prayer, and I'll pray 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll walk out there and be like, God, man, everybody's prays longer than me. Yeah, you know. So sometimes I wonder if
You're the Dunning-Kruger of faith.
No. You're absolutely right. Because there's times I walk away from, whether it's work or church or anything, and I think, Jesus, man, I got to be the worst at this. When maybe somebody else is looking from the outside, and I don't know, thinking, oh man, those people are doing it right. Because I mean, on the radio, for example, imagine how many people are thinking, you know, these 4 or 5 guys
Got it together.
you know, got it together when we're human beings and we have just as many flaws as everybody else.
So would you label imposter syndrome fake syndrome because you're not what you're saying you are?
No, I think what happens is imposter syndrome. I think it's
Because you're when I think imposter, when I think the word imposter,
for sure. I
think
thought
they're
about
trying
this
to-
too.
You're trying to propose that you're something that you're not.
That you're
That'll
not.
make you a fake, a fraud.
Right, but like we've talked about it, can a person actually be a fake if they're actually doing it? For example, we faked it till we made it when we got on the radio, but now are we really fakes?
Yeah, it's kind of second nature now for us, I think. Reno?
Really?
No.
No, but when we first started, we didn't really know where to go on the radio. We didn't know what direction to take. We said we're going to be the guy's perspective, we're going to help men. But at the end of the day, that was all we knew we were going to do. We didn't know we would turn out to be as good as we are. I mean, could that have been fake it till you make it or imposter syndrome?
No, because I think the desire was there.
No, I don't think it was imposter syndrome because we're genuinely trying something new.
And everybody,
Imposter syndrome is, I mean, the way it's explained is different than
For sure.
what we're doing. We're not.
But at the end of the day, imposter syndrome still the main core part of it is feeling like you're not achieving everything that you ought to be, even though you are achieving it.
Well,
wouldn't that be kind of like fake it till you make it also?
so imposter syndrome is like low self-esteem and perfectionism,
Right.
where it's like a negative impact. This isn't having a negative impact.
That's true. It's not. It's not having a negative impact. That's 100% right. Because I don't think any topic we've ever had has a negative impact on anybody.
And everybody has to have a starting point. Like, people who play sports, they, were they a fake before they started? No, they had to start to become what they wanted to. A professional. Are they a fake now? No. They're a superstar.
So imposter syndrome comes from a state of fearfulness.
Right.
Even in the midst of like succeeding, you're still fearful of being found out, that you're barely keeping up, barely hanging on. And I think that it becomes kind of like a selfish position of a viewpoint, because you're so hyper focused on yourself.
I'm with
instead of being in the moment.
Areno.
So imposter syndrome often, if you suffer from imposter syndrome, you'll often doubt your skills, talent, or accomplishments.
But haven't all of us done that before, though?
But what I'm saying is, in the aspect of this radio, what were our accomplishments when we first started?
That is really, he's asking a good question now. Because I think our accomplishments were, when we started, is just like how I highlighted in our book. We needed a radio station to take a chance on 5 guys who had never ever done this before.
Well, let me.
But it's not like I didn't have doubt to it, because I think all of us did, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
yeah. I mean, you're human.
Right.
We do this, but that doesn't mean we had imposter syndrome.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, we were trying something new.
Okay, because I took it as, when he first mentioned it, I took it as we had imposter syndrome to start. But I mean, if you're saying we didn't, then I'm going to go along with that 100%, man.
That's my opinion. You're trying something new. You learn as you go. Doesn't mean that we're doubting.
Oh God, this is good. I wish we could open this up for callers, man. This is good. No, because what you're saying is, what you're saying is right. Because then it makes you wonder if the fake it or make it mentality really is a thing.
Well, we weren't really.
Well, we were kind of, because none of us, at least me and you, had never been in this situation before.
Well, in my field, when I'm trying something new, I'm learning as I go.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will Reno's got something to say on the other side, so we're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll come right back to this. God, man, because what you're saying.
Huh?
Do we stop right now and start again?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
we'll start again. Well, we can start again. We don't have to wait the time.
Gotcha.
We can keep going.
I don't even know how we're supposed to pause
No,
it.
he's gonna do it on the back.
Okay, he's gonna edit.
He'll edit this.
Okay, so
We stopped right now.
Yeah, just organize your thoughts and let's try again.
Thank
Okay.
you. So we'll start with
okay. Let me restart the 25 minutes, guys.
and we'll start with Reno coming in.
Yeah, because this is good what he's saying.
He'll start back to introduce us like normal.
Right?
How's everybody doing? This is part 2 of KOZ 560 AM. And we'll just go around the room, introduce ourselves again, and then we're going to have a Reno. He's got a thought that he was telling us about.
Hey, this is Heath Hine, the actor in Colorado, #1 imposter.
is a Reno local business owner.
And I am not an imposter. I am your #1 janitor for Denver and Aurora.
And the reason why these guys are saying they're not imposters is we're talking about imposter syndrome. The first half was really good. And Reno, what were you saying now?
Also, we are the guy's perspective.
And you can always go to our email, theguysperspective5@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, theguysperspective.org. And we do accept all donations and reach out to us.
What was I saying?
Yeah, you were saying something about business. You were saying business.
Oh, when we first got into this?
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't think we were imposters, because when I was learning the trade that I'm in, you go through an apprenticeship and you learn it. Of course, technically our apprenticeship is learning as we go,
Okay.
Live.
asking questions to other people who've done it, but there's no actual apprenticeship to my knowledge. But we are, I could say I learned an extreme amount since we started,
Wow.
just from doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I agree with him 100%, Brian.
Yeah, when I think of imposter syndrome, the first thing that came to my mind when he was talking was, how much does that have to do with, upbringing dynamics? Like,
Wow.
Your mom or dad were so successful, nice house. I just saw the picture, vision. Here, here the kids are trying to live up to their parents. You maybe didn't do as good in school, didn't go to the kind of college that their parents wanted them to go to. That whole scenario, and how much did that have to do with your upbringing?
I'm gonna tell you, man. Imposter syndrome is unchecked ego.
Explain that.
It's unchecked ego, man. It's people who are not living in the moment for what they're doing in any walk of life, and accepting the challenges that come with it as, hey, I'm learning. They're too egocentric and self-centered, and they think that they should be perfect and perfectionist of everything.
Jesus, you guys sound like psychologists today, bro. You guys,
So they need to,
you guys are
so
on
they,
point.
in essence, what they need to do is they need to have grace on themselves and allow themselves to learn.
Oh,
But-
yeah, that's good.
But how hard? That's very good. But how hard is that for most people to do?
You gotta do introspection, man. You gotta go back to, like Brian said, your childhood.
Burrito.
It's individual, because someone who knows everything can't be taught.
Oh my God.
That's true. That is so true. Now that's with most everybody.
But yeah, yes. What he's saying right there, what you guys all are saying, I'm telling you, man, that's on like. You guys are on a whole new level.
Dr.
today.
Phil up in
I'm
here.
telling you guys are. I mean, okay, because think about it. Let's say we jumped into this. We charted our course. We came up with a game plan now. I just think by us doing what we're doing, by you saying we've learned so much, do you ever feel like you can do better though? Okay, what are you gonna say?
Absolutely, I think we all could do better.
Yeah.
But we all have to be willing to learn. Because if we come in here and we think we know everything, then we obviously don't. Even in my field, if you think you know everything, you might as well hang it up.
What?
Because you're learning something. There's something to be learned every day.
But see, I
I got a
agree
question
and
for
I
Reed.
disagree.
Okay, Brian, then
I mean,
Heath.
how much more can you learn after 20 years on the job? If you've been on your job so long, I mean, how much more could you learn?
Heath.
I've got
Reno.
a question for Reno, because I know you in BJJ, right? Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So can you go in there with a full cup and expect to grow, or do you have to have an empty cup that they could fill you up with?
Well, it's actually MMA. It's not just jiu-jitsu. So it's fusion combat.
Okay.
So you're learning a lot of different. So it's Muay Thai, but
But can you can you go there
you
and
can't
know
go-
everything?
no, because
Because you're always going to learn something.
I mean
You're gonna learn either easy or hard.
there's things I've seen that it's like, for one, who thought of that? How did you think of that? But you think you know everything, and you're gonna get put on your pockets quick. There's no way you're gonna go in there no matter how long, because it's multiple combat sports. You could be black belt jiu-jitsu, and you come in there and learn all kind of stuff about Muay Thai and boxing.
And so,
So-
in the point I'm trying to make, because he's martial artist, I'm martial artist, is that you do have to address everything with humility. I've been doing windshield repairs for 30 years, and I just got humbled that I need to accept insurance in order to thrive when I've cut insurance off for 15 years, Bri.
Wow.
But there's another thing when you're talking about MMA or martial arts. Your opponent's gonna cause you to react different.
Wow.
You can't do everything the same, so you're gonna have to learn that individual.
Because what did Tyson say? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth or something like that. No, didn't he? I think
Everyone's
he
got a
did.
plan. You
But,
punch-
but that's true not only in fighting. That's true in business.
Relationship.
Because it
It's
really
true.
makes you wonder, guys, because with the imposter syndrome, I wonder if because you're at the top and because you're always critiquing your failures, your mistakes in a negative sense, like you guys said, I wonder if that causes a person to lose their sight of what's been working and now all of a sudden they fail, whether it's in business, mixed martial arts, church, relationships. I wonder if they're so hard on themselves that negativity brings them down.
Yeah, but I think there's a simple way to overcome that.
Okay, let's hear it.
And that is, your feelings or your thoughts are just an emotion. You see what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay.
It's not facts.
But
You see
what?
I'm
But
saying? So the thought or the emotion of thinking that you with self-doubt is just an emotion and a feeling. It ain't the truth. The truth is you got where you were at. You
Yeah.
succeeded.
But the problem is how does a person learn to navigate their thoughts when if the imposter syndrome is
I guess it's when they recognize it's just an emotion.
okay so
You have to
when
recognize that this ain't the truth.
when they recognize that they're not a fraud, because
Yes.
that's what we read about. Imposter syndrome is at the end of the day, you think you're a fraud and you think everybody's going to find that out.
Yeah.
So how does a person actually overcome those thoughts of saying, I'm not a fraud, I actually made the company $2 million, I'm their best seller, I don't care what anybody else thinks? Because that's hard to do, to not worry about what everybody else thinks about you.
Not really.
Maybe talk.
Yeah. Oh, you don't think so?
I could care less what someone thinks about me.
Okay.
I could really care less.
Okay. Well, I mean that's
It's a good
there's a
position.
there's a lot of people out there that can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've struggled kind of my whole life about caring what people think of me.
Okay, so you guys are polar opposites.
No, that's why I don't care now.
Ah.
Because I went through my whole-
Oh, that's huge.
You got it.
No, see, I went through my whole life trying to impress people who really don't care about you.
Wow.
Oh my God,
So
man.
when you realize that you're trying to impress the wrong people, who really cares what people think? Who cares?
Wow.
Yeah, he's
Man, he's really hitting on something right there.
Yeah.
That right there's a message for people that are 18 to 35, man, because you know how much they care about
No.
their clothes, their shoes,
Yeah,
and
you
what
know-
everybody thinks,
No,
man.
for real. I went through my whole life getting in trouble, doing all these things, trying to impress people who don't have your best interests at hand. And when you think about it, you get in all this trouble or doing things that trying to impress people, they're gonna forget about it the next day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So who cares what people think about you? Who cares? It's your opinion of me is none of my business. It has
Yeah.
no bearings on whether I'm gonna wake up tomorrow.
Jesus.
Once
God,
somebody-
Yeah,
man.
they need to change their opinion of what the person next to him thinks about him and start caring about what God thinks of you.
That,
You two dudes went
Well,
deep.
that-
You two
that-
dudes went deep.
I do think that people could also align themselves in their purpose with those as well. You stop caring about other people and what they're doing. You focus on the thing that you have in your heart to do, which most likely would align with God.
I actually got to change what I said. You should care what people think about you in the sense of, do they see Christ in you? You see what I'm saying? So
No. I understand that part, but I understand where Areno's coming from.
Of course, but I do care what people think about me if I'm reflecting Christ at all in my life.
Because at the end of the day, I think Dave Ramsey would go along with what you guys are saying, because he would turn around and say, don't keep up with the Joneses.
Yes.
It don't matter if they got a brand new truck and you got your truck paid off. Don't go off and get in debt.
Yeah, one of Dave Ramsey's sayings, because I listened to him so many times, it was, you're too busy buying things you can't afford to impress people that don't care about you. And that don't help.
God.
Yeah.
And Areno just said it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he listened to Dave Ramsey, but at the end of the day, that's Dave Ramsey has built a motto that works, that you get out of debt, and who cares if they don't like your shoes, they don't like your house,
your car,
because there's a
your
rich dad and a poor dad on somebody's block. I'm telling you, there's a rich dad and a poor dad on somebody's block.
More poor.
No, but think about it. If you,
More
like he said, if you care about what everybody thinks you have or don't have 24/7, it's going to drive you in debt. It's going to drive you crazy. It's going to keep you awake at night. And that's good that you guys said that, because I think a lot of people, like especially me, I need to learn it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. If I'm doing my best or being my best version of myself, that's all that matters. You know?
Oh yeah.
Because you know where I think as and this is, maybe I'm wrong and you guys correct me, I think as Christians, I think our biggest mistake, at least for me, and since it's the Christmas season, maybe I can take my own advice. If you're some dude on the street corner, I don't even want to talk to you. I just roll right past you. You know what I'm saying? If you come up to my window, I either tell you I ain't got no money, or I just look straight ahead. And sometimes I wonder if I'm not like my biggest imposter to myself, because I'm not willing. Yeah.
Well, I can't remember what scripture it says, but it says to be careful. You could be entertaining an angel.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I've heard Brian say that, quite a few different times.
You never know who you're helping, how you're helping them.
Mm-hmm.
Just a kind word could stop someone from committing suicide.
Yeah.
God,
Man.
that's true.
And,
Yeah,
and what about this too? You have to understand and realize that you are the gift. You're the gift that God created to be involved in other people's lives. So if you deny people that opportunity to have you as a gift in their life, then you really kind of denied God and His purpose for you.
Yeah, what did that scripture say? It says, he that refuses the poor, I'll refuse his prayer in time of his trouble.
Well, and I also think about that scripture where it says, I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was naked, you didn't clothe me.
So you're talking to yourself.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely. If there's anybody who's hard on if anybody who's hard on himself, I am, because man, I mean, there's like, listen, man, I think especially in school, I do it nonstop. I'm like, Jesus, if I would have studied a little bit more, I could have had a better grade. If I would have, you guys have heard me say it, I always critique myself and base myself off of a bunch of 20-year-olds. I'm like, listen, I'm 40, I'm still in school, but if I was a 20-year-old who lived at mom's house, you know what I'm saying, I'd have straight A's like these. Yeah, and I think I'm at the wrong for that.
So I should have straight A's in school.
I don't think you go to school.
I'm 40. I'm not 20 at mom, but I'm 45 at mom.
Well, the point I'm making is whether somebody lives at their mom's or not, I shouldn't be basing what I do off that other person, like you were saying, Areno. Like, I shouldn't worry about, if this person's at their mom and they make straight A's. Well, guess what? Maybe they studied harder than me, and maybe I just didn't study enough.
Circumstantial, right? Every circumstance is different.
Right. Because
every walk is different.
Because if at the end of the day, if imposter syndrome is somebody that is just extremely hard on themselves in a nutshell,
I can tell you how everybody's walk is different. If all four of us were walking down the street right now, Brian would be waddling. I'd be waddling. Reno would be gliding. Brock would be stomping, and I'd be swagger with Pimp, man. I'd have a limp.
What would Reno be? What would Andre be doing?
Oh, he's assed out, man. He's not even there. Sorry, Andre.
So funny stuff, man. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think that if a person recognizes that they're that they've made it to the top of the food chain and it's okay to be successful in your own way, then I think you're perfectly fine. Because success is different for everybody. Like what do you think success is for you?
I like having listened to things like Dave Ramsey and Myron Golden and to come to the conclusion that I have a creator who has made me creative. And so I'm not even looking forward to something like a retirement and to hang it up. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity, this year, present, and my future to come, to be better for myself and for others.
So that's success to you.
Yeah. So when one would try to be like, oh look, I'm going to hang my hat and I'm going to retire and I'll be a multimillionaire, that's not good enough, man. If I get to that stage, then I need to look for the next challenge.
Wow.
I need to keep going. We need to keep going as long as we got breath in our lungs.
Areno, what's success to you?
I don't know. It seems to change depending on the day.
Wow.
So it could be, seeing my family, where seeing my family be successful would be success to me. Where it's not so much about me, but what can I do more for someone else?
Brian, what's success to
I
you?
think my success to me is to find out what God's purpose is in your life and to fulfill it, to live in joy. I mean, God's gave us all a purpose, and I think most people aren't, searching that out to find out what it is in their lives.
Success for me is the zeros in my bank account. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. Like that to me is so huge.
Hey,
I
zeros are just zeros.
No.
That's
That's what I'm saying. Depending on how many zeros are behind that one, that to me is success.
How many people have sought that money, all that money in having, are still not happy?
Well, but hold
can
on.
that be
How many
success?
people haven't sought that money and they ain't happy?
No, they just think they were.
Arena.
So to add to that, I think you would be, from what you're saying, would you be more happy with, money doesn't buy happiness, but you would be more happy with it than without it?
Of course.
Well, you say of course?
Yes, I would want to be rich than poor, for sure.
Heath, what do you say?
I want to quote the great Jim Carrey, man, and he said, since he's had so much money, so much fame, he hopes that everyone gets the opportunity to experience that so that they can see that it doesn't fulfill you.
Wow. But I mean, the Bible does say, money answers all things.
Yeah, that's true. That's in the Bible. People don't even know that. They always quote the scripture, the love of money is the root of all evil, but nobody quotes the scripture that Solomon says.
They misquote that.
Yeah,
scripture.
they misquote that scripture, but they don't quote it where it says, money answers all things.
He said, to be rather poor or rich, I'd rather just be in the middle.
I just, and you guys answer that, and I think to me it's, the sun shines a little bit brighter and feels a little bit better on my back when there's a bank load of money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does. And I know people say, well, I've never seen a hearse, an armored truck following a hearse. Like, I always, when I hear people say things like that, it makes me wonder, like, what their bank account is like. Have they been so used to living in the not have versus the have?
Hey, speaking on the whole world as an example of wealth and wealth generation, you know that people here in America, when they're making $40,000 a year, they're in the top. of the world. Not necessarily the top of America, but top of the world.
The top of the world,
Yeah,
but not
right.
but not the
Right.
top of America.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Right,
50,000.
so
you make
here's-
more than 50,000 a year. You make more than
So-
half the world.
I
So
get
here's-
that,
so here's the
but
thing.
in America,
Here's the
you're
point,
considered poor.
Here's the point, though, because of comparison, right? Here's the point: Are we do we have imposter syndrome when we're living well?
Wow.
We have a house and we have money.
Wow.
We have a car, a Tesla. Some of us have a Tesla, and we have some of these things. Then are we imposters? Do we feel like imposters as though we're not making it? Like we're barely scraping?
Wow, that is good. That
Yeah,
is really
he brought
good.
up a great
He's
point.
bringing up a good point.
Yeah, because we brought up, having a house and the cars, and you should be grateful. But when you read a story, like I read the news the other day. This lady had a blood issue in her body. She was a kid. She was 10 years old, and it went to her legs and her arms. So for her mom to save her life, she had to amputate all 4 limbs to
Jesus.
save her kid's life. And then it made me realize how thankful I am that I have my arms and feet. I mean, how often do you thank God that you're still walking?
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely.
So it made me realize how thankful I am for just minor things. I mean, if we went to Africa, a third world country, and you were, seeing how people lived, you wouldn't be complaining with what you have here in America at all.
I
guarantee
the only reason why I disagree with that, guys, is because in America is ran by the dollar bill. These other countries, not as much, because they're trying to worry about the food they're going to eat. In America, if you don't have a bank account, people look at you differently. It's just the way it is. Yeah, I mean,
I thought we just talked about not caring what people.
no.
thought.
I know. No. That's we are learning that. But there's people who aren't us 5 that care about their bank account, and if you're not in that status of bank account, you're not hanging out with them. Heath.
Oh, isn't
Oh.
1 minute left?
Because
Thought I was
I
raising my
mean,
hand.
let's be real. I mean, there's some people that they've got hundreds of millions in their bank account, and they're not hanging out with you unless you got hundreds of millions. Just the way it is, dude.
Well, it is a saying that look at the 5 people you hang around. There you are. If you're hanging around a bunch of broke people, you're gonna be the 5th broke person.
That is such a true statement, man.
There's a reason why people with money hang around other people with money.
That's right.
Upcycle.
Yeah, because if you let yourself be brought down, then you may never get back to that status again.
And you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
That's true. Everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye. Oh, man, that was good, dude.
I think we kind of owned that.
Dude, we did.